Hello, gorgeous people. Welcome back to my channel. Super excited for today's video. I'm finally getting around to talking about my entire Giorgio Armani C collection. So many of you guys have been hounding me about this video. So I have lined up all of the C's that I have within my collection, which I think are all the ones that are available right now. And I'm so excited to go through all of them, tell you guys my thoughts on each of them, and also tell you my top favorite picks. So if you're excited for this video, then definitely stay tuned. As always, if you're new to the channel, my name is Karina Waldron, and I would absolutely love it if you subscribe to the channel and become a part of our wonderful YouTube family. And if you like the vibe, if you like the ambiance, if you like the chats on this channel, then subscribe, okay? And let's go ahead and jump into this video. So I have been talking about Giorgio Armani C for pretty much the first video that I ever did on fragrance. I think that Armani does incredible fragrances within their designer line. Now they do have their private blends, which are beautiful in themselves, but the designer lines, I think they just do great, fantastic wearable fragrances that smell really amazing. And I can definitely tell the difference between a ton of them. They don't all smell the same. The C collection is definitely one of my favorite collection when it comes to flankers. I just think they are beautiful, they're wearable, they're approachable, and they are ultra feminine. So we got 7 fragrances to talk about. So make sure you get yourself a drink, you're comfy, cozy, because it will probably be a little bit of a long one. So here is the original C that was created in 2013. So the C line has been around for quite a long time. And this is considered like a Capri fruity fragrance. And to me, this just smells divine. As soon as you put your nose to this, there's something really special about it. To me, it's like this fruity floral fragrance that has a little bit of spice, a little bit of warmth, but still very fresh and kind of like aromatic in itself. It's so wearable. Like you cannot go wrong with this original C because it's just great. It captures everything that you need in a fragrance. And I really like the atomizer on these. Let me show you guys. Really nice atomizer, and the C bottles are definitely something that I adore. I love the cap, love the simplicity of it. It's just, it speaks like elegance, and it's just like timeless. So it looks gorgeous on the vanity, and I also adore that the logo is like dainty and all that good stuff. So when I smell this one, it's just gorgeous. It's fresh, it's clean, it's floral, it's fruity, a little spicy, like very, very slight spiciness. In the dry down, you get a tiny little bit, a bit of this woody tone, but not overly done. I find all the notes in here are really well balanced. And just looking it up on Fragrantica, we have cassis in here, May Rose, freesia, vanilla patchouli, ambroxan, and woody notes. So it's not like a super complicated fragrance, but I do find that it is really pleasant, really beautiful, and almost like a no-brainer type of scent. Like if you pick this up and wear this, you smell great. The long-lasting ability, which is something that is important to a ton of you guys. I want to say that C is not like the most long-lasting fragrance on the skin, but on the clothes, it is great. And a ton of the C flankers are the same way. So I would say spray it on your clothes if you want it to last all day long. And this is a fragrance that I can definitely go a little bit heavy-handed when spraying it. I don't do just 2 sprays. I can do about 5, 6, and then I am good to go. But it is definitely a beautiful staple fragrance within your collection that like you really can't go wrong. It's a safe blind buy. It's beautiful to wear, and definitely one of those like all year round type of fragrances. Like it doesn't matter the occasion, it doesn't matter the time of the year, you can just pull this off anytime. So next up, I have here C Intense, and this is the 2014 version. So they did recently launch a C Intense. This has been discontinued, but you can get it online on other websites. So this one over here, I recently added this to my collection at the end of last year, actually. I didn't have it, and to me, it's quite different. It comes off a lot more fruity than the original C, And it's not my favorite out of all of the other Cs because it's more fruity. So if you like fruity fragrances, you'll probably adore this C. Even though it's the intense version, I don't find it super intense. I just find it a lot more fruity. So this definitely has a ton more notes when you compare it to the original one. We have like the black currant, which gives it a little bit of this boozy, fruity vibe. There's cassis, there's freesia, mandarin orange, and bergamot. And then the middle notes, we have still the May rose, but we have osmanthus, neroli, and artemisia. I hope I'm saying that right. There is also vanilla, patchouli, woodsy note, and a broxen in the base notes. So mainly I see the top and the middle notes that are different. They did add quite a few other notes that the original one doesn't have. I'm just going to spray it to remind myself again. Even though this is the intense version, I don't find that it lasts longer than the original. I really feel like they all pretty much have the same lasting ability, which to me is about the 5-6 hour mark, which is still pretty decent. Again, overspraying it for sure. The black currant and the freesia to me is the most prominent. You will get a little bit of that mandarin orange in the opening. And I find that the patchouli is a lot heavier in the intense version, the 2014 intense version, than the original fragrance. So for me, it's more of a mix of fruity and like green notes in this fragrance. So it's not my favorite type of scent because, again, I get more of that black currant fruitiness vibe from this fragrance, but I don't find it's like an intense version of the original C. I do really, really think that these two are highly different from one another. There's a lot more freshness in here, pulls a little bit more elegant, while this one pulls a little bit more fruity. This is probably, out of the entire lineup of C, it's probably my least favorite, just because I'm not crazy about fruity fragrances. So next up, I have the two C Passion fragrances. So there is the original Passion, which was created in 2017, and then we have the Passion Intense. So they did come out with a flanker to the flanker of C, which is pretty funny. So I did spray them at the back of my hand because I'm trying to get a feel for the differences, and I really want to try to explain the best way that I can. So when it comes to the original C Passion, I find it's quite different from the original C. This is a lot more sexy, has a little bit more spice. The vanilla is beautiful in here. There's a bit more woody tones in this one, and it just falls really beautifully for evening wear. Now, you could definitely pull this off during the day, but I find for evening wear, it is really, really beautiful. It's a little warmer also than the original C. Still quite elegant and very wearable, but there's just something a little bit more alluring to the C Passion, and I think it's really beautiful. It has like this nice soft spiciness, again, gorgeous vanilla, but it's a little deeper. I want to say it's a little deeper. It doesn't have that aromatic freshness that the original C has. And then when we look at the notes, there is pear, blackcurrant, pink pepper, and grapefruit. I don't pick up too much of the pear in the opening. Definitely the pink pepper and the grapefruit. The middle notes, we have rose, pineapple, heliotrope, and jasmine. And to be totally honest, I'm not getting a ton of that pineapple note. Definitely the jasmine is beautiful and the rose, and it really intertwines beautifully together. So I can definitely pick up the rosy notes in here rather than the fruity notes, which I definitely enjoy more. And then the base, we have vanilla, cedar, amberwood, and patchouli. And the patchouli is not heavy. To me, the base notes shine more than anything, and it just creates a really beautiful, elegant kind of like date night type of scent without it being too much. C Passion Intense is definitely a little bit more intense than the original one. I find that this is a little spicier. There's a bit of a heavier woody tone in this one for sure, but it's a great when you think of a flanker to a fragrance, how you want the original one to be just a little bit deeper, a little bit maybe spicier, a little bit of something more elevated, more deeper. These are great examples of flankers. They are very similar, but the intense is just that. It's just a little more intense. When we look at the notes, I'm just going based off of Fragrantica. It says that the intense one only has black currant syrup in the opening, jasmine in the middle note, and then in the base we have white musk, cedar, patchouli, and vanilla. So it does seem like the notes are quite different. They pulled quite a lot of notes out of the intense version and simplified it, but when smelling it, they're very similar. You're just not going to get that jasmine, that heavier rose, that floral tone that I'm getting more in this one. And a little of that freshness from the fruits in here. So it's a little deeper. It's a little drier. Also, I want to say these two, the intense version, are a little bit more dry. I hope that makes sense. The original C has this kind of like mouth watering effect. Like it's a little bit more juicy, more watery like, and these are a little more dry fragrances. Do you need both? I don't think so. If I was to choose between the two, I would probably go with just the original C. I find it has a little bit more uniqueness, a little bit more character than the intense version. One of my favorite C's that is discontinued. You can still find it online, but you can't find it on the Armani site, on like the Bay or Sephora. I wish that they had brought this back. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is C La Parfum, and oof, it's a beauty of a fragrance, and this is the bottle over here. It looks very similar to the new C, as you guys can see right here. Let me show you. But the cap on the La Parfum is different right there. Those are the main differences that you're going to see. So La Parfum is C done in the most sophisticated way. It is a little bit more mature. It's definitely elegant, a little bit more lavish, and it just smells more elevated than the original C. It has a bit of a boozy vanilla quality. It's warmer, it's ambery. It's definitely an intense, like I feel like this is like C intense. Like if you intensified C, you would get La Parfum, and it is done beautifully. Like exudes this very confident woman type of feel when I spray this one, and it takes me to like niche realms because I don't find this very designer like fragrance. Maybe that's why it was just a limited edition and not for the general like fragrance purchaser or whatever, because it smells a little different than what you get from a designer fragrance. It's really, really, really beautiful. Honestly, it's beautiful. So the patchouli in here is a little bit heavier. I want to say that. So for those who do love patchouli, you will enjoy this one. It's a little bit more smoky. You know, there's definitely a lot of sexiness to this fragrance. And this one was created in 2016. The notes in this one, black currant and bergamot. So we have the reoccurring black currant in these C fragrances. That's definitely something that kind of captures them all. The middle notes, we have incense, osmanthus, and jasmine. I mean, incense, that's where you get the uniqueness of this fragrance. I find that incense note in here really takes it to an entire different level. And in the base notes, we have amber, benzoin, vanilla, and patchouli leaf. This is stunning. I can definitely douse myself in this one and just feel incredible. So next we have a 2019 creation. This is C Fiore, and this is such a beautiful fragrance. You really can't go wrong with this one either. It is super, super feminine. It just smells like a girl. It really gives me bridal vibes every time I smell this one. It smells like a beautiful day. It's just neutral tones. It's airiness. It's fresh. It's gentle. It's girly. Like it smells like that. Like those are the feelings that I get when I smell this one. The notes in here are stunning also, but to me, this is definitely a vanilla prominent fragrance. It's sweet, but this very silky, mellowed sweetness. It's so stunning. It's like musky, a little in the dry down, but it's like a very beautiful musk. Like, I'm telling you, this one is gorgeous. You definitely pick up on the rose note in this one a lot more. And I have the larger size because I douse myself in this one. So in the notes here, we have the blackcurrant again, and then green mandarin. The middle notes, we have neroli, rose patchouli, and oak moss. So they put the patchouli in the middle instead of the base with this one. And then the base, we just have the vanilla and the white musk. And it creates this very creamy fragrance, very creamy, very just gentle and suave. And it just is stunning. The blackcurrant in here, I like that it's not super boozy. It's actually quite mellowed out and fresh and airy. It just gives it that airy kind of quality, especially blended in with that mandarin. It really does mellow it out so it doesn't become super harsh or boozy like the other fragrances. So that's why it creates a newer, different fragrance. The neroli gives it a beautiful freshness. That rose in there is juicy. And then when it just dries down, it becomes the most suave, creamy, like almost like, you know how this sweater feels very soft on the skin? This is what this fragrance is when you put it on. It smells so beautiful. Like, it's a beautiful, beautiful scent. Can't go wrong with this one. Cannot go wrong with this one. We are down to our very last, which is the newest one from Armani, which is C Intense 2021. Okay, this is the newest launch. Now, I know that they have the C Intense from 2014, and I'm just going to tell you these two are very different. Very, very different. They don't smell alike whatsoever. So if you already have this in your collection and you were thinking maybe they smell the same, absolutely not, okay? Because I love the new Intense version. This is beautiful. This kind of reminds me a cross between the original C and C La Parfum. Like, it has the essence of both of those fragrances in one. Love the juice of the fragrance. I absolutely love it. It's beautiful. This to me is definitely fruity floral. It's warmer. It's a little spicy, a little boozy without being too done. It's still fresh. And the patchouli note is definitely a little heavier in this one. It is. You can definitely smell the patchouli note, but it gives it a beautiful earthiness. Now, notes in here, of course, the blackcurrant is in this one. So we have blackcurrant syrup. And then in the middle notes, they didn't just put rose. They put Turkish rose. And I love Turkish rose because I find it has a little bit more of a kick, a little bit more of a spicy tone to it. And it definitely is in this fragrance. We have Davana in here, and then in the base notes there's benzoin and patchouli. So there is no vanilla in the new C Intense, which is totally fine because it just captures a different style of C, and it is beautiful. This is a little bit more spicy, a little warmer. It's a little drier than the original C. The original C has a little bit more of this mouth-watering quality than this one over here, but they both smell incredible. Let me just spray them and smell them. I'm going to spray them like this and let them dry on the actual nozzle here. Oh, yeah, the original C is sweeter than the new C Intense for sure. It's a little bit more watery for sure. It's a little bit more watery, and the fruity essence comes a lot quicker in this one. This one you get more of that booziness from that blackcurrant. Oh, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. The new C Intense is quite addictive. The more you wear it, the more you just want to douse yourself in it. It is very approachable, very wearable. It's one of those scents that you can pretty much wear day or night. I don't find it's overly done to the point that I don't feel comfortable wearing it during the day. You could definitely dress this one up for sure during the evening for date nights, for a special occasion. But you can also wear this to like a brunch, dressed quite casually. And it's just a stunning fragrance. It's beautiful. It is, again, it's like C and C La Parfum in one beautiful fragrance. This one, the lasting ability, I want to say it's a little bit less than the other ones that I have, unfortunately. So I definitely overspray. Like, you guys can see the dent that I've put in it, and I've had it for less amount of time than I've had some of these. So I've definitely been using this quite a bit. It clings on the clothes very, very well. And I find that the sillage is great for the first hour, and then it becomes closer to the skin. So I definitely spray my C fragrances on my clothing rather than my skin, because I find they just project and last a lot longer. If I had to pick from the ones that you can currently get right now, my top three, I would definitely pick the original C. Can't go wrong with that. It's a staple. It's a classic. To me, it's a classic. C Fiore is absolutely beautiful. Love it. It is so beautiful. And then, I do really love the new one. But if I want something a little bit more sexy and provocative, I would probably pick these three. If I only wanted three, I would go with C Passion, the original, C Fiore, and the original C. I love these ones so much. Love them all, but these would be my top three. So guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and saw something new and cool today. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on the C lineup down in the comment section. So definitely leave your thoughts. I love chatting with you guys as always. Thank you for all the love and support on this channel. It never, never, ever goes unnoticed. And I will see you all on the next video. Ciao.